After you, your hands are full.
Yeah, I think you're moving to me. You did.
No, enhance. You got you. The piano teacher said, no, you have no heart for arpeggios.
What, you're on? Good.
If I hear number N7, my head's going to play in.
You know, everybody got music.
What's N7? So in intervals, it's
I don't mind singing.
I just looping, and if it's
I'm more than happy to let those that know how to
save
play.
it twice, it's a perfect.
I don't know how to play, but
It
I
actually
can.
one note and
Okay,
then
it's more than like it.
So if we could have people turn off their cells, I'll even turn off mine.
Do you know where the button is?
You have a green light. Actually, am I live? Can you hear me? Am I a little live? Okay. A little live.
Wait, move the mic a little closer to your nose.
Wow. There we are. One thing that was, I was kind of excited on the way here, I saw a dwarf begging, and I gave him $5 because he said he was a little short for the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for you coming. My name is Wayne Pratt, and you're here for both my book launch and my Jack Canfield talk. And a couple of people have asked me, why are you doing a book launch and a talk for some other book?
Yeah.
Well, this way I only had to hire one caterer. Also, one thing that I'm kind of excited about is Jack Canfield, who is a hero of mine, Mr. Chicken Soup, for those that don't know. He sold 500 million books, so I'm short. I haven't done that yet. Although I want you to know that I am already Sealy's Bay's biggest seller, a bestseller. I actually beat the How to Care for Your Combine Harvester. Woohoo! And but the neat thing is, I was taking a course. My mother is also an author, which is kind of neat. So she says, Wayne, I want you to take the course on how to market it. So I took a Canfield course about marketing books, and I enjoyed it. But the line that was spectacular was Jack was talking about content and how to get content, and that sticks a lot of people. You know, how do I get the content for a book? Everyone wants to write a book. Everyone wants to write a book. Everyone wants to write a book. And he said, and it was 3 years ago, in the bedroom of 1460 Don Moore Lane, if you have a blog, you have a book. Which I think is so incredibly cool, because that's when the lights came on. So I actually curated 8 years of blogs into, oh, that's later. This is Canfield. I got confused. Okay. So, but anyway, so I'm doing Jack's talk. I'm taking a train the trainer course with Jack. And we actually, my wife and I were with Jack last weekend. And we met him personally, and it was a ton of fun. And so if you're only going to buy 2 books this year, you know, one of that's that one. This is the other one. Okay. What is Jack's major premise? Jack's major premise in this book is that you are 100% responsible for your life. And we can take the next slide. Woohoo! Actually, a year ago I did the same talk, and it was actually at the sanctuary, and they didn't have a podium. So there was Wayne with his little notes going, "Hi, I'd like to talk about Jack." But no, we have screen. So, the book says take 100% responsibility for your life. Okay, I know where your brain is going, mine did too. Okay, if a plane crashes on me, how am I responsible for that? Well, to leave the hypothetical, let's just imagine as if, you're going to hear that again tonight, as if, imagine as if you're responsible. Just act from this point forward like you're responsible for what happens to you. No excuses. If you want to live the life of your dreams, forget why you can't. Okay? Jack Canfield has some math that I really, really like. E plus R equals O. Has anyone here ever met any official victims? They are the victim. There's just, you can actually see it on their forehead, victim. And the one thing, I was so sad. I was taking a course, and somebody wanted $20 because he had played all his motivational books tapes backwards, lost everything. Tough room. Anyway, events plus response equals outcome. Everyone's got their notes? Please circle that, because if you just got that, you got enough out of this evening. Events plus response equals outcome. How many people have you met that they're still rehashing and rehearsing something that happened to them 20 years ago, and that was the event that shaped their life?
Everyone I've ever met.
Okay, boom, boom, except your father, we hope. And actually, my daughter's here tonight, and so I should admit that one thing I'm excited about is I used to actually be a motivational speaker until I got depressed. It's like an obese fitness coach, you're just not going to find work. So, if you are going to read a book about managing events and changing your life, I really recommend Dr. Frankl. Yes, Dr. Frankl. He wrote Man's Search for Meaning, right? Yes, Man's Search for Meaning. And he was a psychiatrist who actually was a prisoner in the Auschwitz, one of the concentration camps, and he actually decided to make it real, to actually study what was happening, even though he was a prisoner. And the people who thrived, usually had some purpose that was bigger than them, and second, he learned that it wasn't the event in your life. I mean, you can't get many events more horrific than that in the last 100 years. But yet, people went on to do amazing and wonderful things. So I actually was reading about twins. They were talking about how, culture versus nurture versus, yes. So, and they talked about two people, one who was in prison, and they were talking to one brother and said, well, why are you in prison? And he says, well, how could I be anywhere else? My father was a violent alcoholic, this is the life I was raised in, and how could I have any other results than this? He actually had a twin brother. The twin brother did not drink at all. The twin brother was happily married. He had 2 kids, a business, and they said, why are you so incredibly successful? He said, well, I knew that I couldn't touch booze, and that I had to make a plan for myself. And he says, how did you know this? He says, well, my father was a violent alcoholic, so I had no other choice. Same event, totally different results. So event plus response equals outcome. So it's not the events that affect our lives. It's how we respond. Now, I have to tell you, that doesn't mean I haven't had my own pity parties. Okay, I understand this. But eventually you get to respond to the event. So what we're trying to do is focus on the R's tonight. So if you change your R's, you change how you think, you change how you feel, you change what your daydreams are, you change how you present yourself, you change how you reflect on the events, you try to find good in those events, and sometimes it's hard, but there's usually a lesson that can be learned. Not always maybe, but usually. Okay? Here's the other piece of the puzzle tonight. If what you were thinking and what you were doing could get you your goals, you'd already have them. So our job tonight is to change how we think. So the first thing you have to do is totally forget about blame. No blame. Not for you and not for others. That's the first thing. The second thing is ask yourself these questions. What can we do instead? How do you know what you have to change? face the facts directly. Okay? Watch your self-talk. Who here has ever had a negative conversation with themselves? Yes. I took a $500 course. The only part of the course that was valuable was actually they told you to they gave you a rubber band, and every time you thought something negative, you snapped it and changed it. And that was worth the whole $500. So that was powerful. So you cannot stop negative self-talk. That is a sad but realistic truth. But you know what you can do? Any thoughts?
Turn it around.
There you go. Change the negative thought into something positive. So instead of it's what do I want? What can I do? What do I want to be? What do I want to have? You're in charge. Now, this is simple, but it's not easy. Okay? It's very simple, but it's not easy. And you're going to find the first 30 to 60 days is really, really tough. Okay? Because you'll want to slip back into old habits. So you're going to take, and people say 21 days, people say 67 days, but if you change your